Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon. You currently locked in with two of the coldest brothers in the land right now. This is the Porch Podcast, and I'm your co-host, B. Jones, aka Bolo. And you know when I'm pulling up to the porch, I can't pull up without my dog.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Big Smitty, aka D Nice. And where we at again, Bolo?
Y'all already know we in the place to be, so go ahead and tell a friend to grab a drink and pull up. This is the Porch.
Let's get it.
Started on the porch, that was where it all began. Had to put in work, every day we got it in. We chased all our dreams and now they can't believe it. We make it look easy, we achieving everything we need. Now we undefeated. If we link, no it's only business. If we get to speak and leave them speechless. I did things for free, but now it costs to see me. When you see me, you ain't gotta greet me. Just don't plot to sneak me. I'ma see it, I'ma stop and watch.
What's going on, my guy? What's going on? The vibes is crazy today.
Vibe is crazy.
It's all about the vibes.
Crazy, bro. I'm on the wave right now.
Hey, you remember a few episodes ago, Rochelle Ryan says it's all about the vibes.
It's all about the vibes, bro. You know what I'm saying? You just come in the room, you just on skates right now, you floating, you sitting on that cloud right now. Hey, everybody in the room can't help but to get on that cloud. They gotta get on your level.
Man,
You know what I'm saying?
when you keep elevating, they ain't got no choice but to elevate or they can't reach you.
Hey, ain't nothing but it's all about elevation, bro. All about elevation.
And speaking of elevation, speaking of vibe, man, what's in your cup right now, Bolo? Talk to me.
my gosh, bro. You already know what's in my cup, bro. You know, I had to take it back. All right, I was rocking with the tequila for a little bit, but I went old school, man. I was feeling, a little bit about the right. So I had to go ahead and hit y'all with some Jameson and Red Bull.
Ooh.
Hey, Jameson and Red Bull is gonna hit you in every which way you want to be hit. All right.
Oh man, sideways, front ways, behind, diagonally, man. Like how you want to do it?
Wait, man, you feeling happy? You sad? You mad? All right, it's gonna get you to where you want to get to. All right.
How many ice cubes you got in there? How many ice cubes you got in
I
there?
got about 3 or 4. All right, you want to keep it super chill, but not too much to water down the actual Red Bull. But you want to just keep it a little cold. Nice little cold drink. Set the mood, get the night right. You feel me?
I like that. I like that. So me, man, I want a different route, man. I got a little pink Moscato in here.
Ooh.
You feel what I'm saying? Real, sipping real. Yeah, you see your face because you already know how that pink Moscato do, man. Feeling real good. Tastes real good. Kind of, you just kind of sip on it real slow and then it kind of catch up on you. You know what I'm saying?
It do.
I got my 3 ice cubes in there though, but I'm just feeling real smooth, bro. That's why my tone a little different right now. I'm just real mellow and just vibey right now.
We riding the wave.
Well, hey man, we gotta give a toast then. That's the only best way to do it. Talk to me. Tell me something nice.
Hey man, you already know what we toasting to right now. Right now, we toasting the vibes. All right.
Vibes.
Shout out to everybody on their own vibe, riding their own wave. All right. If somebody ain't vibing the way that you would like somebody to be vibing, don't move around. All right. It's okay to rotate. All right. Shout out to the vibe.
Shout out to the vibe, man. Touch the screen. Yes, sir, ski. Yes, sir, man. Hey, man, we got another banger today, man. We got a special guest coming up. We're gonna get to him in a minute. Man. But before that, we gotta introduce this new segment, man. It's our random topic of the day, man. This is gonna be a topic. It might be sports related, it might be culturally related, relationship related, whatever is on our mind. Anything under the sun. That's what it's gonna be. So, Bolo, man, tell the people, man, what we gonna talk about today. What's the random topic of the day?
All right, y'all. So the random topic of the day. All right. And let me just preference this. All right. We're 2 married guys, right? So we'll give our feedback as well on what we think about the question. But I was online, man, and I seen, this one question. It had a lot of comments under it. Usually you can just go straight to the comments to try to figure out how people are thinking, right? So the question was posed like this. A man will know if he wants to be married with you within 6 months. He doesn't need 4+ years. So what do you think about that, Darnell? Does a guy going into a relationship know well within 6 months that he's ready to be married to that woman?
That's a deep comment right there. That's a deep question right there, man. So I'm gonna answer it like this. I think context matters. So when I say that, I think it depends on what age you are when you got into that relationship. So me, for example, I got in a relationship at a very young age. I have a very unique situation and unique story. This is my high school sweetheart. So you can't tell me 6 months within our relationship in high school, I knew I was about to marry her. There's no way I could do that. But in a more traditional sense where people get together, after college, early 20s, mid 20s, I do. I would say yes. I do think that, yeah, about a half a year in, if you're seriously dating, going on dates, getting to know each other, you've met the family, like you're spending a lot of quality time together. I don't think it should take 4+ years for you to get to know. I mean, but what do you think, Bolo? I could be wrong.
I mean, I think to your point, it's very situational, and there's also a lot of variables that come with that as well. See, with me, before I even got married, I had to make sure I had myself together. You know what I'm saying? So it may be a situation where if somebody is, dating or, seeing somebody for a little while, it may take them a year, 2 years to actually figure out themselves and figure out what they actually can do and provide, to that partner to have a successful marriage. I think one thing that we also run into now too, people just love to have weddings instead of just really being married.
Oh, say that one more. Hold on. Say that one more time for the people in the back.
Look, people just want to have weddings instead of just going through the process of really being married. You know what I'm saying? They love the pictures. They love that. They're walking down the aisle, the music, the dancing, people celebrating you. Like all of that is fine and dandy. Like I definitely had the best time of my life celebrating my wife with all my family and friends. But a marriage is way more than that. It's a process. It's communication. It's about being equally yoked, right? So in certain situations, it definitely will take more than 6 months to really figure that out. You know what I'm saying? And I think the best way to do that is to learn more about yourself and have your significant other learn more about themselves. That way you guys can both be the best, you before you're combining and creating that union. You feel what I'm saying? So
yes,
I don't think it takes 4 years. 4 years may be a long time, but it definitely can take longer than 6 months to create something that you want to last forever.
You made a fire point, bro. That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Because like sometimes, bro, if you go into something real quick, what'll happen? It'll end quick. So it's okay with, creating a foundation, right? Creating that standard. I think a lot of women, sometimes are like, I need to be married, right? They just at that process where it's like boom, boom, boom. Even guys too.
It's like a checklist more than anything.
Yeah. So it's just more than checking the box, y'all. Like this is like a life partner. This is a union. You're doing this in front of God, like, and the divorce rate is finally starting to come down a little bit. So, when you're ready, you're ready. But I don't think 6 months is enough time to, even man or woman to say that they're ready to be married though. So
I can respect
that's just my 2 cents.
I can respect that, man. I respect that. Well, viewers, we want to hear from y'all, man. Let us know, man. Yeah, look, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the review section, man. DM us, DM the page, the Porch Podcast _. Let us know what y'all think, man. 6 months too short, too long. 4 years too long. What y'all think, man?
We want to know.
We want to know. It's the Porch, man. And like I said earlier, we got a special guest, man. Another banger
for y'all.
Another man, a great guy, my brother, and we're excited to bring him on, man. So,
yes, sir.
Without further ado, we got a special guest. This guy's my brother. He's like family. He's been trying to get on the Porch for a long time, man. So he's a business owner. He's a hustler. He's a father. He's a husband. My guy, Walt Brock. Welcome to the Porch, man. How you doing?
I made it, man. I made it. Yeah, man.
Welcome.
No, I appreciate it, man.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
glad to be here, man. Been watching y'all, man. Y'all doing some dope work for sure.
No,
appreciate you. Absolutely.
Appreciate you. It's been a long time coming, man. So now I know me and Bolo both excited to have you on. I know our viewers and listeners are going to be excited to just hear about your story, your path as well, man. So let's jump straight to it, man. So like on here, we like to start back from the early times, man. So obviously you were born and raised in the Bay Area. So me and Bolo both Midwest guys. I'm from Naptown. He's from Chicago. So explain to us what was it like growing up in the Bay Area?
Man, growing up in the Bay, man, is unique because it's so diverse. So although you have certain areas where, like in San Francisco, you have like the Hunters Point area, Fillmore, like Double Rock. You got like areas where we're concentrated.
Yeah.
But like literally when you're going to school with everybody. And so you learn early on how to kind of like, navigate that. Like a lot of my close friends, especially playing football, are Samoan and Tongan. You know what I mean? So I got a lot of brothers like that. So it's very diverse. The art scene is very vibrant. A lot of creatives out there. And I would say that it's normally like really good vibes though. Real good vibes, right?
Right.
The one thing I would say, man, the Bay is a lot different now from when I grew up.
How so?
Now,
yeah.
just with all the money in there from the tech companies, it just now is drove up all of the housing and the pricing. So if you're like a true, from San Francisco or Oakland, all that stuff, unless you've had some property, kind of passed on, or you bought early on, a lot of people have come in and kind of outpriced people. So now you have people move to kind of the valley areas. So that's like Modesto, Fresno.
Yeah.
People moving to like Vegas. Vegas is getting a lot of people from the Bay and LA as well too. You know what I'm saying? So it's changed a little bit, but like you still can feel the the energy when you're going through Oakland, all that stuff though.
Facts.
Sure.
Man, I gotta see, for me, like I'm a Midwest guy, and I'm like, if I ever move, it'll have to be to the South, never to the West Coast, because I feel like it's gonna hit the pockets. Like people in Cali, people in San Francisco, like I mean LA or San Francisco, like I feel like they just throw a bag on just a regular size crib. I'm like, whoa.
So for sure. But here's what I'll say, right? Depending on what industry you're in, but especially if you're in the entertainment or sports industry, sometimes you gotta be where the action is, right? And so I knew when I moved down from the Bay down to LA, that it was gonna be a risky move. It's gonna be more pricey. Probably wouldn't be able to kind of live the same lifestyle. But being able to kind of rub shoulders, be able to pop up at different events and just kind of be around where the action's at, you gotta pay for that a little bit. So I kind of understood there's a little sacrifice, in the time being.
Yeah, 100%. That's always what I tell everyone. They always ask me about the cost of living and how do I live out here and maintain. I'm like, yeah, it's a lot, man. I mean, gas right now is over $6 right now, like $6.50. Like it's crazy to think about that, But like Walt said, it's like, man, you rubbing shoulders with everybody, entertainer, athletes. You might just be at a restaurant on a random Wednesday and run into somebody notable. You know what I mean? Because they live here too. So it's like, man, it's kind of like that. You got to just compare the both and see if it's worth it. So now, I got a question for you, man. So I always heard, like, I don't know, it's like a back and forth discussion of like what technically is like considered the Bay. Can you break it down to us? Like, 'cause every city up north ain't technically considered the Bay Area, is it?
No. So you got the anchor cities like San Francisco and Oakland. So San Francisco's kind of considered like the West Bay.
Okay.
You got Oakland, like Berkeley, Richmond, Pinole. Okay. Those are kind of considered like Hayward, all kind of considered like East Bay.
Yeah.
Alameda, all them cities. And then like my mom and sister, they live in Vallejo. That's kind of where like E40's from, CC Sabathia, cats. That's kind of considered like North Bay. And the crazy thing is that like Napa Valley, Napa Sonoma, y'all on your wine stuff, y'all.
Right.
So like Napa and Sonoma is literally about a good 45-minute drive outside of Vallejo. So like the wine country is right there too. So that's kind of like the north. You got like Sausalito, and some other cities out there that are dope. So yeah, that's kind of how it's broken down. And then you got San Jose. So San Jose is considered like South Bay.
Okay.
San Jose, Santa Clara, like Fremont, all them cities. So that's where the 49ers are at now. So the 49ers used to be in smack dab San Francisco, in this area called like the Hunters Point area, and literally right across the street is the Double Rock projects, like literally right across
like
the
hood.
That's how it always be.
It's going down at Double Rock, huh?
And Double Rock sound like it,
Hey, well, hold on. I'm good everywhere though. I
already know. You
Post Road, Compton. Walt know, Bolo. He know. I'm good everywhere, boy.
Oh my gosh, man.
Double Rock, my people. Yeah.
To the Far East Side. But yeah. So South Bay, that's where all the money's at. That's where. So you got San Jose, Santa Clara, Milpitas, and all them little areas. So that's where Google, Apple, all the tech companies that you can really think about, and that big Silicon Valley boom, kind of all over there.
That's where Sheldon stayed at San Jose when he played for the Niners. He had a beautiful crib. I'm talking about on the patio, a whole view of the entire like city and everything. Like it was, So San Jose, crazy bread over there. I already know.
Man, it's like I'm just so intrigued by just California in general, just because there's so many pieces, there's so many cities. Like, so Walt, like where you from, there's a lot popping, right? So like growing up, where you from, like how can you just keep up with the times and like just kind of stay in the present with so much going on, so many popping cities, so many jobs coming up? Like, how does somebody stay relevant?
That's a great question. So like growing up, I didn't really, I felt that it was fast, but really didn't fully understand. And I also spent some time in the South too. My mom's originally from Arkansas.
Okay.
And my pop's originally from like New Orleans. So I got family in Louisiana. So I used to go down all the time. And then my mom went to school in Alabama too for a few years. So we were down there, and then moved back, finished up school. So I had a chance to kind of bounce back and forth. But I would say you can get lost in it real quick.
Yeah.
You can get lost in it. I think that's one of the things that I found too, is that because there's so many different distractions or things you can do, that you can lose focus on like what the main goal and priority is for sure. So you gotta stay focused on that. Yeah, man. I think Cali is a very, and the other thing too about Cali is that it's somewhat isolated though too, right? Right. If you think about it.
Right.
So now that we moved to Atlanta, so I'm in Atlanta now. But like Cali and Atlanta, like so for example, I had a chance to drive up to Charlotte. I've been to Charlotte, Panama City Beach, Florida. I've been to where else I go to? I went to Augusta, Georgia, right? So all these, Nashville, all these spots are like 2-3 hour, 4 hour drives, and I'm in like 3 or 4 different states.
Right,
Cali, you on the whole island, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And outside of like Nevada, Vegas, and Arizona, and Seattle up north, like it takes a while to get to everywhere else. So you kind of live in a different world, to be honest. And kind of like, especially, and again, there used to be like a big little rivalry between like Northern California, Southern California, like when we was younger and all that. But like LA, like you could get really lost real quick because of just, it's sunny almost every day. There's a lot of things going on. There's beautiful people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Distractions.
You lose reality real quick of like, this is not how everybody else in the US is living.
Not at all. Not at all. That's why I tell everybody, it's like, man, I'm living out here, but like to me, it's like I'm living on vacation. Because growing up in Indianapolis, Indiana, playing football at Ball State, and that's way smaller than even Indianapolis, the Muncie, Indiana area, and then moving out to LA, it's like a whole nother like world. It don't make sense.
And it damn near take like a whole nother level of discipline to, like you said, to like be consistent in what you want to do. Cause it's so, like you said, so much going on, parties, people, and it's so easy for somebody to get lost in the sauce, and you can just fall off task on what the goal is, that you came down there. People like, I want to move to LA, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I'm like, you better be ready. You know what I mean? For real.
It can literally like chew you up and spit you out for sure. You know what I mean? Because you can get so lost in like trying going after the kind of like the chase of it, right? Whatever that goal is, you know what I mean? And you can kind of lose yourself a little bit in it too. So no, for sure. It's LA is one of them places where it like you need to spend time there for sure, like especially in the space that we're in.
Yeah.
But also too, like if you're intentional, California does have some really dope outlets, you know what I'm saying? Like in terms of like the hiking, you know what I mean? It's
yoga, heavy,
the ocean, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of spots where you can like kind of dip off. And that's one thing that I really do appreciate about Cali that no other place really has, is like, man, you could go see the snow. You could be in the snow at the beach all in one day. You
see the sunset literally on the same day.
Sunset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you're driving down like PCH or some of those spots, like it's like
I made that drive a couple weeks ago, boy.
Oh yeah.
Went to Malibu, did a little Malibu wine hike, a double day. Oh man, ain't nothing like it, bro.
Good life. That's love, bro.
So like let's switch gears a little bit, man. So before you found your current passion and what you're doing now, you was passionate in football on that field, man. You was look at it, he getting hyped about that. So walk us through I guess what football meant to you. We're all former football players, and I know for me personally, man, football changed my life, honestly. Thanks. In terms of for me, confidence. It gave me confidence and taught me hard work, taught me better teamwork, and it literally got me in a better life. Literally gave me a scholarship that led to college, which led to everything else that has happened. So just talk to us about how football, I guess, impacted you.
Man, football, man, taught me so many life lessons, man. from the standpoint of one, you have to put the work in order to get to where you want to be.
Yep.
Like, coming in as a freshman, you think, oh man, I'm about to hit the field immediately.
Easy.
At least in my case, nope.
Right.
I had to wait. I had to wait a little bit. Also, you can be as talented as you want to be, but if you don't have the right technique and take in the right form,
yep,
it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And so I learned that fairly quickly too. Like, especially, I know me and D, we always be laughing because we both kind of play D line and everything. But like hand placement is everything. You know what I mean? Hand placement and get off, right? Yep. And so once I got those two things in, like especially the hand placement, it just literally changed the whole game for me. I didn't win every battle, but I was in every battle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas before, I'm up high trying to chase and all that. I'm getting blocked. Right. yeah, on skates. And so I think the technique and the form was big. And then one of my coaches used to say all the time too. He used to say, "Love the process."
Yep.
I used to hate when he used to say that though, right? He would say when we doing like the morning runs, he would say it, you know what I mean, when shit was tough, like, man, you gotta love the process. But now being on this side of it, it's like, okay, I understand. Like the process allows you, like when you going through them hell days, when you going through them tough times, when it is 4th and 1 or 3rd and long, you gotta go get it. That's the extra juice that helps you, you know what I'm saying? And kind of push through. So I think that, and then that spills over into just kind of life as well. So those are some things.
And I love that, man, because football, like you said, it teaches you so much just about the game of life. And one thing I appreciate, and sometimes you do hate it where it's like, the game is far gone from you, and you look back on things and you like, man, that really helped. Like, I wish it really would have clicked for me like it clicks now. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just develop a love for something if you work so hard for it, right? So that's just what the game has always provided people. And, it just, provides, especially Black men, just that level of getting through adversity. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We fall in love with the strength and conditioning coach. You're with him 75% of the time. And he's always talking about nobody cares about your pain. Nobody cares about if you had a bad day. Like, you got a job to do, you got to get it done. And I carry that same feeling and that thought process in work. Like, people don't care. You got a job to do, you got to get it done. Let's make it happen, man.
Yeah. Yep. You know what? One other thing I would say too, man, especially being a defensive lineman, right? And Brian, what position did you play?
Defensive back.
Okay, back.
Safety. Bolo was hit. Bolo was a hitter too. Now, don't let the smile fool you. Like, Bolo was hitting boys. I'm telling you.
Okay, I gotta see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, one of the things that I really appreciate about being a defensive lineman, man, is that you have to be super athletic. You got to be strong. You have to be nimble. Mm-hmm. But also you got to sacrifice a lot too, right? Because I remember a lot of times my coaches used to say, like just take the gap. You got the B gap. I know you want to make the play, but the linebackers roam free, right? And so you kind of sacrifice the stuff sometimes. But also like it's something about being in the trenches, man. Like fighting in the trenches. Like it's like
it's very masculine. It's very like
every play you banging, every single play you banging.
Easy.
No matter what else is going on the field, it don't even matter. I know I'm banging every play.
Every single play. And then sometimes you got a double team, right? You got to get skinny in the hole. They say yeah, skinny in the right? You know what I mean? Get a double team. Sometimes the center coming down, sometimes the guard coming down. You the tap. Sometimes people pulling, you got to be hella nimble. Yeah. And one of the plays too that I used to always, it took me a while to get a hang of it, was when they used to play either the draw or the screen.
You got to redirect,
run the line.
You got to redirect and pivot, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so one of the things that I learned and kind of transitioned just into like life and also professionally is I think now, I always kind of operate from being in the trenches mentality. Like being a D lineman, like when you finally make a play or when you eat, like it feels so much sweeter because you're banging every single play.
How
hard it is, right?
Yeah.
And so now, like being on this production side and just kind of how I approach life is like, man, I like when shit get tough, I can handle it because I've been in the trenches. You know what I mean? I know how to bang, I know how to be nimble, I know how to sacrifice sometimes, but I also know how to make plays. So I think being in the trenches is something that has really helped me.
Absolutely. And let me just say this, man.
He's spitting game right now.
I'm a DB by heart, but I do have a love for the D line just because Bro, it used to be situations where, we have Indian, we backpedaling and we going through the route tree and whatever. But man, the D-line, they down there banging in Indy every day. They down there banging. I'm like, man, they don't take Indy off. Like, they grinding. Like,
Man.
it's y'all did it. Y'all did it. Day
practice used to be hard as hell.
What?
Yeah, D-line used to have those practices where I'm like, they working down there.
Man, shout out to my coach, man, Coach Osterhout, man. He we called him Johnny O at Sacramento State.
Nice.
He's the head coach now at American River College in Sacramento. It's a junior college, but they like one of the top programs in the state. And I don't even know if I told you all this. So I started off playing at a school called St. Mary's College, California.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They're really good at hoops, really good, like West Coast Conference, play with like Gonzaga and all them.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I was on the last football team there. So we were D1, but independent. So like literally we would play Florida Atlantic, Bucknell, like we would travel all across the country. And so they wound up cutting the program when I was going into my redshirt junior year and almost like senior year academically, right? So I played a little bit there. So that's when I wanted to transfer to Sacramento State, which was a blessing in disguise, right? But Johnny O, man, he looked out. He was my D-line coach, man, and y'all talk about like work. Like we would have to show up to practice about 15, 20 minutes before warm-ups, you know what I mean, and everything, just to kind of go through hand placement drills and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. And
then we'll go through the indie drills and all that. You go through team, you know what I mean? Yeah. Inside run, all all those joints, right? And then, but like I used to think that doing special teams, we was gonna get a little break. And I ain't playing on a lot of special teams. Like, I'm sitting around that. Nope, we still doing drills in between it. So I just think that having that mentality of like always being on, like you can take some time from time, you know, here and there, but like never being complacent. So Johnny O, man, he did a lot for me, man.
Man, that's what's up, man. That's how it was, man. I mean, I got a couple coaches, man. My high school coach, shout out to Coach Clark. We still talk to this day. He's like family. And then, I had a couple coaches in college, but the one who really, really impacted me, man, was Coach Wilt, man. Shout out to Coach Chad Wilt, man. Wilt had us working, boy. Before practice start, we be on the other field hitting the sleds.
That used to be grinding.
They blow the whistles. We got to run to our position for warm-up. We get done with team warm-ups, and now the whole defense is doing some, what's it called, bags of pursuit. Now we running through the bags.
Yeah, already know.
If somebody mess up or trip, we going back. Everybody starting over. Then we get done with them. Now we doing the pop-ups. Now I'm like, Coach, it's been like 30 minutes of hell.
Right.
We just got started.
Non-stop.
Full pass. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
shout out to Coach Wilt. Coach Wilt, he's also the defensive coordinator at IU.
I saw that.
He's definitely leveling up, doing a great job, man, and super proud of that, how that guy is continuing to kind of grow through the ranks.
For sure.
So yeah, man, it's like you said, man, football, you build relationships with so many people, and you learn these lifelong lessons and things like that. And the game of football, man, is just something that is just so precious in so many different ways, man. So shout out to football. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to football.
The game has just changed all of our lives, and a lot of people listening and changed their lives too. So definitely 100%. Love the game.
100%. Now, before we transition, Walt, be real with the Porch. Was you good though? Like, was you a beast on that field or what?
Let them know.
I was nice, man. I was nice.
Let them know.
So, like literally, once the technique, you know what I mean, really clicked in. I was good, man. And the move to Sacramento State was actually a blessing. I started both my junior and redshirt junior and senior year as well. But we had a chance to level up play-wise. So we played at Cal. So I played against Marshawn, played against him.
How was that?
Yeah.
Hold on. You can't just slap that in there. He's talking about beast mode right now. He's talking about Marshawn Lynch. How was that? How was that battle?
It was unreal, man. And so I had a chance to probably had like one or two tackles. Not by myself. They weren't solos. It's okay.
Yeah. Hey, but you got in on there. Yeah, 2 assists. In there.
But the funny thing is that so we had a lot of cats on the team from Long Beach, and Long Beach Poly is like a pretty big program. And so they had this young kid at the time named Deshaun Jackson, right? So he was coming into Cal as a freshman. So everybody's hyping him up like, oh man, this young kid, he the truth. I'm like, okay, man. Dude wound up taking a punt to the house on us, and he also caught like two touchdowns as well. And I was like, okay, man, this kid the truth. So So yeah, he draw. And then also crazy. The center we was going up against Marvin Phillip. So Marvin Phillip, he's a long time center in the league.
Yeah,
the dude was solid. Yeah, him and Alex Mack. I remember them. Those are two centers, and they had a good line, man. So so we played them. We played a lot of good teams, man. So it was I think that's the last thing I'll say about football is that it also just exposed me to different parts of the country. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like travel, we hopping on planes.
I had never flown before college, personally. Never flown. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's the other side of it. Like, we're so blessed to get a chance to like play a game that also takes us to different places and different experiences. And like one of my fondest memories is playing at the University of Montana. Montana, man, they're in the Big Sky Conference, just like Sac State. Like literally, it's like 40, 50,000 people, like literally sitting right on top of you.
Yeah.
And like feeling the crowd moving and rolling. Like you can never really, you don't forget those moments, man.
Yeah.
Facts.
You know what that remind me of, Bolo? You remember playing Iowa your senior year?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I kind of, because I feel like it was like probably 50-some thousand people there rocking, and they right where our benches at, they crowd is kind of like hovered over us a little bit, just screaming,
like almost like within hand reach.
Yeah, like to pat you on the pad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we was on their ass too. If it was the last drive, it was 1 minute left. We was up by like 5 points. All offense had to do was get a first down. We would have won the game.
Oh man.
We punt the ball. It's our fault. I'll put it on the D. And fucking offense. Iowa's offense ran down, scored on us.
But to our credit, we have been balling as a defense.
We was balling the whole game.
The whole game. We about to pick. Like they had scored once,
and then we shut them out for like 2 quarters.
Yeah, like they wasn't doing nothing.
4 quarters when they started to kind of cut loose.
We got tired, Walt, man. I was in there 77 plays. I remember that. And I'm just out there
down, bro.
And that last drive, bro, they started going tempo.
Remember, they was moving.
I'm like, I can't get out. I wasn't getting no pass rush on that last drive. I'm in the get me out of here.
Oh man.
Great memory though. Great memory, bro.
I love it, man. I love it. So obviously everybody, that is especially a collegiate athlete hits that one point in their life where they're like, holy shit, right? So you hung up the cleats, right?
Right.
You ended up graduating from Sac State. What's the next move? What's the thought process like? What are you doing from there?
Yeah, man. So at the time, I was working at this spot called Velocity Sports and Performance. So like I was kind of like a sports performance coach.
Yeah.
I really didn't know which route I wanted to go. I thought about going into coaching, but then I had remembered when we used to take those late trips and we would get back in, 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, like a lot of the young assistant coaches were staying late to break down the film and do all that. I'm like, man, that's kind of crazy.
Right.
So fortunately enough, shout out to Catherine Zadonis, man. She was our compliance director at the time. And so I remember I was at an awards banquet and I was just sitting next to her. She asked me kind of like what I wanted to do next. And I said, I wasn't sure yet. So she said, hey, if you want to intern with me, come in. So she was in the compliance area. So, that's the area with all the rules and regulations and all that stuff. It was interesting to me to kind of learn like the reasons why, we could or couldn't do stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I had a chance to spend some time with her there. And then she told me about an internship at the NCAA office in Indy. And I'm like, man, it's a national search. It's a national opportunity. I'm like, man, I'm a student athlete. And now I've had a chance to, work, work here as an intern, all that. But come on, am I gonna get a chance to? So, God worked. I got it. I remember going up there for my interview in Indy.
Yeah.
And I'm walking up to the NCAA. I see the logos. I'm like, wow, it was a moment. You know what I mean? Coming from where I come from. So I go through the whole interview process. I wound up getting it. So I wound up moving to Indianapolis, man. And that was a first time living in the Midwest. It was cool though because we had a group of they had like an NCAA intern cohort. So we had about probably like 15, 16 people all together, kind of moved in, and man, had a hell of a ride at the NCAA. Just kind of working in like the athletic administrative review. So like the area that like when student athletes would be ineligible or different things were going on, like there's different like waivers that student athletes could apply for depending on the situation. So I was doing that. and then also working like on the little Final Four events and different championships as well. So it allowed me to kind of learn a lot.
Love it. So I gotta ask you. Okay, so I'm originally from Chicago. I live in Indy now. Okay, obviously we got Mr. Indy East Side over here, who's diehard Indy, Colts, everything, jiggulating, everything Indy. How was Indy for you? What's your thought on Indy? How long did you stay in Indy?
I was there for about a year.
Okay, how was it? How was your stay?
I would say overall for me, it was a good experience for me, right? It was obviously a little slower pace than I was used to, but given what I was doing, like work wise, like it was a good fit for me. So I stayed near Ben Davis High School.
Okay, West Side. Look,
not too far from the Speedway. So like the downtown area was cool. We used to hit Broad Ripple. Kick it over there. It was cool. Like if you had a cool group of like folks to kind of move around with,
it can vibe
cool.
out.
Facts. But we did hop in the car a few times and push to Chicago though. We had some
I had to.
Chi-Town only 3.5 or 4 hours away.
Easy,
like,
we go. Go ahead. Yep. And then you're gonna get that hour too. You're gonna get that hour back.
You get the hour back. You're right.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah.
For sure, man. Yeah. I love that, man. And your journey's crazy, man. Like you said, it's crazy how God put you in certain positions that you didn't even know what happened. You said you just at this little event sitting next to the lady, and that leads to this huge opportunity, right? My whole life, bro, I feel like it's just an example of just blessings and moving with faith and just like God knocking on your door. So I love hearing those just stories. You know, we've talked multiple times, of course, Walt, about that. But every time I hear it, it's like, man, like it's crazy how things connect. And from there, you know, you had a lot of other roles from there to you've been all over the country. You know what I'm saying? Explain to us how you got to the production side. You know what I mean? Like connect the dots there. You go from playing a sport. You did a kind of like the physical training. You said kind of for a little while. You know, then you NCAA, and then boom, now you production. Connect those dots for us.
Mm-hmm. So after I left the NCAA, I went down to work at Conference USA in Dallas. So doing a lot of championship operations, moving around, and so I would literally I was overseeing like track and field, and I was overseeing like our men's and women's soccer program, so championship, all that stuff, and I would help out, of course, with football and the other ones. Yeah. So I would always have to kind of work with these coaches, man. And so I had a lot of experiences where I'm the young buck in the room. They're looking at me like, dude, like, do you even know the sport? And to be honest, like track and all that stuff, bro, I didn't fully understand. Bro, it was so much going on.
Right. I can only imagine.
Coaches protesting different rules. You got to measure out the look. I'm like, bruh. So, but I always knew how to just connect with people and like figure it out. Like, and my thing was always like, okay, if I can get into the room, if I can kind of move around a little bit, I'm gonna figure everything out. So, so I went from there, and then I thought I wanted to become an athletic director. So if you want to be an AD, normally you have to know how to raise money or generate revenue. So the Raiders actually had an opportunity back in the Bay, and also I wanted to be closer, you know, back to home and everything. So I moved back home. I worked with the Raiders. Man, that's a whole story in itself, how that happened, man. Like,
talk to him. We on the porch.
Facts. Let us know.
Man. Oh, man. It's so crazy, man, when I think about this, man, because so I applied for the position, and I wound up meeting it's so crazy. I wound up meeting a brother in there who had worked at the spot at San Jose State. It was a school that's close by. Yeah. And so I go in there just for an informational interview. And I just hit him and was like, hey, look, I'm gonna be in town. I wound up connecting with the then president at the time. Her name's Amy Trask, and a lot of the top executives. I just offered some, like, I'm in the office moving around, just sitting down with them. And so I didn't have any experience, you know, with any like generating revenue or partnerships or tickets at all. And so I applied for the position. And so the guy hits me, man. And he's like, hey, look, I want to bring you out for an interview. I'm in Dallas right now. I want to bring you out for an interview, but I can't fly you out there. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all the Raiders. Y'all can't fly me out for the interview. But it was like the level of position that I was at. It didn't kind of like warrant it. So I was like, you know what am I going to do with the extra $400, $500 this month? Probably spend it, you know, I mean, whatever it was. So I was like, let me go ahead and invest in myself, and let me just go. So I went ahead and went and did that. and wound up getting the position, getting the opportunity, without any like direct experience at all, right? And so, so the next spot I went to UC Berkeley and Cal, and so that opportunity, it was like, okay, the first opportunity was to get in the door and sell like this new stadium. They had a new stadium just renovated and had these premium seats up top, like beautiful. I would say Cal probably has one of the best college football settings if you ever get a chance to go check it out. But it's dope. Like they have this high level area called the University Club, like overlooks the whole bay. It's crazy. But those seats up there, man, would range like pretty high. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so there was a huge donation component to it. So I was like, you know what? If I get a chance to connect with some of these donors up here who are willing to spend this amount for these tickets, because if you're spending that much money, it's more than just the game. You got ties to the university and all that stuff. So I wound up getting in the room, connecting with the right people, and that led me to like bringing in some gifts from a fundraising standpoint, which wasn't even my department at the time.
Right.
But then when it was when there was an opportunity to move into like this major gifts role, I moved into major gifts and I got it. So I'm a director of major gifts. I'm moving around. I'm flying down to LA, back and forth. I'm with like a lot of big time donors. So I'm learning the whole game, but I'm just sharing my experiences of when I was a student athlete, right?
Right.
Stuff like that. So storytelling. And what I learned also about fundraising is like you want to make sure that people know what the impact's going to be. So you have to identify, okay, like if you give X amount of dollars or you put your name on that building, this is how it's going to impact, the next generation of students, whatever it is. And so I learned quickly that like you would have to kind of provide a case and also then just kind of provide the story behind it. And so, man, really enjoyed that opportunity. And then I got to LA because we opened up a fundraising office in the Brentwood, Santa Monica area.
Okay.
So when they offered me the opportunity to move down from the Bay, I was like, you know what? I could have stayed in the Bay and stayed comfortable. All my family was up there, but I was like, you know what? There's something a little bit bigger. Let me just make the move to LA. And so I moved to LA, worked for Cal for about 3 years down there. Started getting exposed to a lot of Berkeley alums that were working in the TV and film area. But again, not thinking that I was going to jump into the side.
Right.
But just started like, there's a whole nother lane over here. And so then finally my last stop in college, man, working on the college side was at Columbia University in New York.
Yep.
I knew that, the Ivy League was a different model. I knew that. But I also knew that the type of donors and the folks that, support Columbia was a different model. Right. And all of the trips that I had taken to New York, like there was some type of energy out there. And I was like, you know what? Something in my spirit was like, man, in order for me to kind of get to where I want to be, New York was going to like teach me some lessons, man. So my now wife, then at the time fiance, I convinced her like to come out to New York with me, and we made it out there, man. And that's when I really started to realize, one, I started all seeing like the creativity all around, but also we had brought in a production company because we were creating this mental health institute for student athletes. And so during this 2-week period, man, I was probably the happiest I had ever been, right? Because we were on set, the camera's up there. I'm coming up with a lot of the questions and the themes.
Yeah.
I'm coordinating with the student athletes. I'm coordinating with the coaches. So I turned to the producer and I'm like, hey, yo, like, is this what producing is? And he was like, yeah, man, yeah, you're a hell of a producer. Like he told me that. And so once he told me that, I was like, wait a minute, like literally a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, oh, I've been hustling, I've been moving, connecting dots. Right. This is what production is. And what I realized was I used to always think that in order for me to work in TV or in content, I had to know how to edit. You know what I mean? I had to know how to shoot. I had to know how to do all these technical things. But when I realized like, it was more about like, how to storytell, you have access to people and you know how to connect the dots. I was like, oh man, I could be a producer. And that's kind of like when the light bulb went off.
Damn.
That's fire, bro. That is fire.
Yeah.
This man went all over the country.
Just the touch points from city to city, state to state, like to get to where you are now, man. Like that ain't nothing but God, bro. Like
nothing but God.
Nothing but God, bro. Like getting you like you had no idea production was something that you wanted to get into, and somehow you ended up in that room where you were like, damn, I feel good. Like this makes me feel great. Like I love this. Like, and that was just God. Like, see, I'll put you in that spot.
Hey, God, like I put you on.
Take it. There you go.
No. For real though, like that was the reason. I feel like that was the reason why I needed to go to New York. And I think the other reason why too was that New York is another city that just does not care. You know what I mean? When it's 10 degrees, when it's 5 degrees, you still gotta go to what? You gotta keep going, right? And so again, being primarily from Cali, of course there's adversity that you go through, but like New York, it was literally like it's a grind to get to work. It's a grind to go get some groceries. Like there's always something going on, some type of hustle, something you got to like navigate. And I feel like being able to kind of navigate that gives you like a different dog in you. You know, it puts a different little crown on you.
Little different fire. Like you ain't got no choice, but like if you want to make it, you gotta put the work in.
Yeah.
Either that or you won't eat. So it's like you get put in that position. So man, that's real, bro. I love hearing that story every single time. So obviously, so that light bulb goes off, right? You know, and you're like, man, so this is production. I love this feeling.
Yeah.
So that ends up you deciding to start your own business, crossover collective, right? So, man, I'm trying to put myself like in your shoes, right? You know, you've been working, been having good jobs consistently for a while, and you literally take a risk, take a chance, and say, hey, I want to start doing this production thing on my own and start my own business. Like just through that mindset. I know you had to be nervous. I mean, right. You know, being engaged at the time, you know, a committed relationship at the time, and like knowing just the risk that could go into like starting your own business. Like just walk us through that mindset that you was going through at that point.
Yeah, and honestly, before I even got to that point, there was another step that
oh, okay, talk to me. Yeah.
So when I got to the point when like my spirit wasn't feeling right in terms of like continuing to be, you know, where I was at the university. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, God kept on tugging at me. So I wound up, you know, walking away from Columbia about 4 months before we were getting ready to get married. I had some money saved. I didn't have enough saved. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really map it out. Right. But literally, like when I would wake up in the morning, it was tough for me to go in to the office. It felt like something was pulling me. And so literally, man, I had a chance to connect with a gentleman by the name of Keith Clinkscales. And Keith was actually one of the founders of Vibe magazine back in the day. And then also was one of the leading executives at ESPN for 30 for 30. And so I'm gonna tell you how like my wife, man, she played a huge role in that because she worked at Revolt TV for a period of time. And at that time, Keith was like the CEO. So she had a connection with him. And so once I kind of shared with her a little bit more of like, hey, look, this is what I want to do. I wound up having dinner with Keith and just kind of share with him, you know, my background, all that. And what I sold him was like, look, you're creating content about sports, about you know, student athletes and coaches. Like I lived it. Like I lived it on the field, and also like working, you know, for the Raiders, working for these different spots, right?
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, cool. So basically, what wound up happening, I had like a little under a year long, kind of like glorified internship under him, man. Like I was paid, but not getting paid, you know, not paid a lot in New York at all. But I had a chance to kind of sit in on like a lot of the productions, and the office was located in the Black Enterprise office off of like Madison Ave. So Black Enterprise used to, you know, one of the, you know, the leading magazines that kind of highlights, you know, Black entrepreneurs and all that stuff. Yeah. So you would get the Kevin Hart's would come in, the Jamil Hills, like the list go on and on. So I started connecting with a lot of the publicists, kind of like, hey, you look, you know, I'm in production, I'm trying to figure stuff out. And so literally, when we found out that we were gonna, we're expecting like our little guy, I was like, okay, we're gonna move from New York, we're gonna head back to LA. That's when it was like, okay, well, I had a chance to kind of learn a little bit about a little under a year. And then it was like, okay, I'm moving to LA. I don't have anything lined up yet. But during that period of time, I had reached out to my business partner, Steph, just on LinkedIn. I reached out to him.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
I reached out to him on LinkedIn because we're working on like an athletic director kind of a content series, kind of telling stories about ADs. And so I reached out to him because he was overseeing like the national BMW account. And shot him a note on LinkedIn. He wound up responding. We talked over the phone. It didn't work out working for when I was there. But what happened after I moved to LA, we wound up catching up in LA, and that's how everything got started.
Damn, man. A LinkedIn message, man. Led to this mega company, this partnership, this dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, all the listeners right now, check your LinkedIn messages, man. You might be missing out on your blessing right now because you ain't checked your LinkedIn messages, man. And check your request messages in the Instagram. They're not all spam. They're not all spam. So
right.
Nah, I love it, bro. I love it. So yeah, no, jump in, Bolo. No, you
I was
good.
gonna say, so I mean, obviously once the company got up and running and things like that, obviously you hit small adversity. Everybody does and things like that. But was there ever a moment where, like, in the early stages of like the development stages, where you're like, damn, maybe I made the wrong decision. Like maybe I should have just did this or, did that. Did that ever cross your mind at all?
Oh man, there was a lot of those moments, man. Especially when you checking the account and you got a baby on the way, you married, like newly married and all that stuff, and you move back across country.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? It was layered. You know what I'm saying? And then then COVID hits too, right? So we had our big client that we landed was the Drew League, and we still work with the Drew League to this day. That was our first big client, and then we were starting to doing some work with like Chase Bank. We were in the Bay Area with Steph Curry and Kevin Hart. They was doing this thing called Heart of It All and Sweat Working, where we teach like financial literacy through like engagement and movement, different stuff like that. So we were literally there with this agency that were asking us to kind of like help them roll this out for the rest of the country. We were at the Warriors game. Probably Steph Curry was sick that day, that game. And then like 2 days later, I think who was it? Rudy Gobert, whatever it was. He started playing.
Rudy Gobert, yeah.
Yeah. And the whole thing shut down. So we was like, oh man, we were so close to like landing a pretty significant account. And then it went away. And so that's kind of that moment was like, oh man. But actually, it was actually the blessing in disguise for us, because that's when we started to really dive more into the content space, because we had to, because no one was doing any live events anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
And it's crazy too, because like obviously we're in 2022 and COVID is still a big thing. Like it's still going on, but it wasn't as big. Was not as big as it is, in like early 2020, like the March, April of 2020, like when the world was like shut down and everybody was like losing their mind, like. And you had to do, like, you just had so many different variables going at one time, man. And it just kind of shows the persistence. And like, it goes back to football. Like, now let me ask you this. Had you not been a football player, do you think you would have got through that situation?
Ooh,
that's a great question. No, I don't think so. I don't think if I hadn't played football and also, the experience in New York, me kind of going through that grind, and then also just seeing my family too, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom hustling and my grand, you know what I mean? Like seeing that, like, you kind of had that entrepreneurial spirit. And I think that's also kind of a part of being from the Bay too, is like, like the path's not going to be easy. You gotta wiggle, you gotta figure it out and leverage. I think that's what we did. We did a really good job of, is leveraging things.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing that we did once the pandemic was hitting was that we had a chance to work with quality control on the sports side. And during the time, Alvin Kamara was looking for something like different, like kind of content for like brand pitches and stuff like that. Right. So we wound up just taking like pre-existing content and kind of pulling that together. And shout out to my man Jay. Jay and I actually worked together. He's a dope ass creator and editor. Fire. We worked together at Cal. He was over doing video for the football team, and I was doing fundraising. So we had met way back, and then just kind of recircled back on IG. And so I was seeing what he was doing with these videos. I was like, hey, look, bro, like we got some access. Maybe we could kind of come together, and you know what I mean? And it kind of worked out. He did some fire edits. So we did one for him, one for DeAndre Swift when he got drafted by the Lions.
Yep.
And then also we did one for Deebo Samuel when he was coming in for quality control, had him as a marketing client as well. So we did like the welcome video for him. So those were three that we literally just took like pre-existing content, but put our own flavor on it, and it started moving. And then we just started shopping that around, like by talking to people like, hey, look, we work in content, this and that. And then we wound up connecting with Baron Davis, man. And shout out to BD for giving us a shot, man. Because again, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and he had a dope ass concept that he wanted to kind of bring, sports lifestyle and culture and all that stuff. But what happened was, we had connected with them, and then I had connected with Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr. They both played, linebacker for the Vikings, but they both played at UCLA. So I found out through my man connecting me with him. My man Court connected me with them, and so I'm rapping with them. They're like, "Hey, yo, we in town." I'm like, "Well, look, BD played basketball at UCLA, so he had the UCLA connection." I was like, "Hey, look, why don't you just come and rap?" So Eric came in, he had a mask on, Anthony was on a Zoom, and we got that content piece right now. Like it turned out okay, but bro, there was so much stuff that was wrong with it. Like the wire is hanging, you know what I mean? but my mind was like, yo, if I could show BD that we can pull something together like that and position him to talk to some Pro Bowl linebackers and position him, like maybe we can leverage it into something else. And so that conversation went well. And look what happened. He turned back around and was like, hey, look, I'm trying to do this little production. Can y'all come in? And that's how we all kind of rocked. And that's how Darnell and I actually
met. That's how we met, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The last minute, the previous talent, the host, basically backed out for whatever reason, like on the last day or like the day of the shoot. And my boy Walt, again, so I told y'all earlier, check your request folder and check your DM. So Walt, you know, just for me being on Speak for Yourself, you know, Walt had saw me on the show, had sent me a message. He was like, hey, man, you know, hey, I seen you on air, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know, would you be interested in this opportunity? And the crazy thing is, I at that point, I never used to check my request messages, like almost never. But for some reason, like, I don't know what told me to do. I just did it. And I see that it's a legit message in there. And it was a dope opportunity. And that was the first project that me and Walt worked on. You know, I went in there as a host. We killed it. We had a good time. And more so than just like we killed it, it was like the energy was right. We had like, it didn't feel like work. It felt like we just was supposed to be there. You know, you talk about that feeling you had at your previous job at Columbia. It got to a point where that you just didn't feel right. Your spirit wasn't right. This was complete opposite. Like everything felt right about this. So from that point on, it just led to just a snowball effect, domino effect, whatever you want to call it, of so many other projects. And to this day, obviously, we're still grinding and working on all types of stuff, man. So it just, I don't know, man. For me, Bolo, you know, we get emotional on the porch sometimes. But I think it's cool though, because I just love these stories, man, because it really inspires me to just keep going. We all got those tough days, and you know, you might have a day where you know you kind of lacking that confidence in yourself or whatever the case may be. So having these other people's journeys and these stories and these testimonies in a sense, right, be shared, to me, it's just huge. You know what I'm saying? So,
man, that's just how you guys connected, like, you know, the crossover collection, like just how everything just came to this point right here is just amazing. Like it's, you know, everything happens for a reason. You know, I'm definitely a big believer in a higher power. And you know, everything happens for a reason. So, you know, man, that's a hell of a story, man. Like I'm just excited to see what's to come next. You know, the biggest thing too, like, and for the listeners listening out here, man, like this guy Walt, man, like it was a process, right? So I think a lot of people who get into entrepreneurship, they want to get to the end goal right there. Like it's like one of those microwave moments where they want to just, oh, I worked hard a couple days. Like, where's my money? Like, where's the success at, right? But like you went from state to state, city to city, like grinding, going through hardship, you know, going through pandemics and things like that, just to get to where you are now. And obviously you still continue to grow and continue to expand, you know? So it's a process, and it's like you always gotta, just like I said earlier, D-Nail, like on our last episodes, like all of these letters in the alphabet, like you can't go from A to Z. You got to see a few of these alphabets before you at least get to Z. You may skip a couple, right? You may get lucky and skip a couple, but you got to see the process through.
Yeah, got to, man. Got to. And you know what, Walt, there's one thing I don't want to skip past, because you mentioned it briefly earlier. You talk about your wife.
Facts.
Talk about, man, because listen, we all three married men right here. All three of us on here. Got some queens in the household, man. Talk about just how vital your wife has been, not only like in your career, but just in your life, man. Because ain't nothing like having a strong woman and queen in your household holding you down, man. So just talk to us, man.
Yo. So my wife, man, she's rocking with me in moments when she probably should have went left. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. And she. Like when I had moved from the Bay down to LA, I was wrestling with some stuff, you know what I mean? Wrestling with some like old demons, and you know, my pops had, you know, stuff that I hadn't really addressed a while back. And so that had seeped into, you know, a lot of like my relationships and other things too. And so one of the things that I learned from her quickly was like, you know, being able to take that time to be still, to be able to address those moments and address those things, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, like if you always on the run, always going, like you never address some of the personal things, and just keeps on, it doesn't go away. It may go dormant for a little bit. It's gonna pop back up at some point, you know what I mean? So like she really was a advocate of me kind of like writing stuff out, helping me kind of like learn the process. And then also she recommended also for me to kind of do like a vision board, right? So at first I'm like, man, I ain't, vision board. Okay, what's that? But
Right.
literally, man, like I've done probably like 3 now.
Nice.
Like, kid you not, every single thing, and I'll send it to you on one day so y'all can have a picture of it. But every single thing that I put on that vision board has happened, bro. I swear to you. Swear it's happened. It's happened.
Yeah, I make one now. My wife made one. It's funny you said that, and I kind of just being real. I was like, all right, vision board, whatever.
It's an activity with the wife. Like, let's just do it, not really put any effort into it, right? Damn, that's crazy.
But now I'm thinking like I need to come on. I need to get my board right.
Space. Yeah,
for sure. No, definitely get the board. And one of the moments, man, that really one of the man, it's so crazy. I wish I would have brought it down here.
It's all good.
One of the pieces that I have on there is like, like aspirational stuff, right? You know what I mean? Like where you want to travel, stuff like that. But like I have on there like private aviation, right? I put that on there. Just like, you know what I mean? And again, it's not even like, it's not a stunt for me at all. It's more of like man, like to be able to kind of do that one day. And so literally like one of our last projects that we were able to do, man, we were fortunate enough to, you know what I mean, be on a private jet. And so I don't share that to like brag at all.
Yeah, it's
just share it is like wait a minute. So I had to go back. I was like, man, like that's been on the board. Like being able to kind of, consult and do different things we're doing was on the board, like literally the words. And so it's just and even just not even just business stuff, like even like family things, you know what I mean, that I put on there. Like I put about the first one I had like a Home Depot bucket. You know what I'm saying? And like a saw, different little things, like building a home, right? And we were able to like buy a home in Atlanta, like, you know what I mean? So like different things that are on there that, I mean, yeah. So my wife has been, man, and she's a beast too. She a beast, you know what I mean? And
hustler,
hustler in her field. She works in entertainment and music. And so the way that she moves and navigates with grace and a crazy, you know what I mean, business, like yeah, I respect it. And now seeing her as a mother, as she's evolved, man, like it's a beautiful thing.
I love it, man.
I love it.
Shout out to the queens, man. Shout out to the queens out there, man. They really the backbone, man. They hold it down, man, because I got my own separate gig, right? But then I also coach football on the side, and we also know how time consuming coaching can be. And there was a period of time where I was coaching where my wife actually had 2 children in the middle of football season, right? So I got an August baby and I got a September baby. So, that's when football is picking up at its core, right? And we were able to get through it, man. And she had my back. She wanted me to continue to do something that I loved. And, she held it down, bro. So it's like, man, these women, they carry a power, bro, that is unlike no other. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. Shout out to them.
Man. And I ain't got no kids yet, but it's definitely in the future plans, man. I mean, my wife coming out here to LA, she was all for it. You know what I'm saying? Was all like, I was getting to a point where I was kind of miserable in my previous position at a certain point, and just coming home and talking to her about it. So when the opportunity came out to come out here, she was like, hey, if you believe in it, this is what you want to do, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Came out here, took a risk. So like you said, man, ain't nothing like that sacrifice, man. I'm about to tear up on the porch right now, man. Shout out to the queen, shout out to the wife. Both of y'all got little boys at the crib. So I gotta get me a son now. Ain't that what that mean? Yeah, it's only right.
What that mean?
What that mean? Hey, first time I met Walt's son, man. You would have thought we knew each other for years. Came up to me, holding me, laughing. Like that's my little man. You know what I mean? I'm Uncle Darnell.
Uncle D.
On everything, bro. On everything, man. So all you youngers out there. So let me get this one last line. A lot of people ask me, ask me like, why'd you get married so young? Or like, what's the point of getting married and this and that? This is the reason, y'all. Like,
talk to him.
This ain't even the half of it, but this is part of the reason, man. Ain't nothing like having a partner who got your back through it all. Good, bad. They're gonna teach you, make you better, call you out on your BS when it is time to get called out. You know, they're gonna love you. Whatever you're going through, having that partner to where like you really a team and you really building something together in this game we call life. You know what I'm saying? When you find that right person, ain't nothing like it. So I get you want to be in the streets, have your fun. Have your fun as long as you need to have your fun. But at some point, you need to go ahead and lock in and find that right one, find that queen. And being married is fun too. We got to change the narrative.
Absolutely.
Even me saying it now, like, have your fun. No, marriage is fun. We be having a hell of a time. You know what I mean? Double dating, going out, finding time for each other. So, ain't nothing wrong with marriage, man. So I just want to throw that out there, y'all.
And it ain't nothing like knowing that you got somebody that's rocking with you, regardless, right or wrong.
You know what I mean?
Wait, my lady roll. Look, hey, we if we out and about, we in the club or nothing. Look, she swinging too. That's how she roll. Like that's how it is. Like I know she got my back. Like,
hey, Kayla gonna swing for real though. Like Kayla gonna really swing.
You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. Like I know somebody. Ain't nothing like having that feeling when you know somebody got your back. Know that somebody love you. Like it's just
And the last thing I would say too is that I mean, even from a business standpoint, I think sometimes people feel like, okay, well, when you get married, you can't, you can't move as freely or do what you need to do. And I would say that I am, and our relationship is kind of living proof. Like, man, I some days I be waking up, I be looking up like everything that we've been able to accomplish.
Yeah.
But having a child, like moving across country and all that stuff, and you would think like, man, like, where's the bandwidth come from? And I feel like, God gives you that extra battery, you know what I'm saying, to kind of like get everything done when you honor him, you know what I'm saying? And when you're in a marriage and you're committed. And again, that's no knock to anybody else. You all have done,
speak your truth.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But like being on this side, like I don't, and also from a success standpoint, I don't think that I would have been ready to receive, like being in some of the rooms that we're in now and doing some of the things that we're in. I think if I was in a different space of life, I wouldn't be able to really like operate in it the right way. If y'all get what I'm saying.
Yeah, right? I feel you. Yeah,
exactly what you mean.
I think that's a big part of it too.
Hell yeah,
1,000%, man. Hey, man, we dropping gems on the porch. That's why you come on the porch. You gonna laugh, you gonna cry, you gonna shout, you gonna get every emotion on the porch, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Gang.
So it's time to transition to our final segment, though, our doorbell segment, which is our quick hitter. So we got just a couple random fun questions for you. So Bolo, you get it started off with the first because I want that second one. So I want you to get the first one.
Okay. So it's only right. All right. From the Bay Area. All right. Who are your top 3 Bay Area rappers of all time?
I'll do it.
Hey.
I gotta put Uncle Earl in there. I gotta put E40.
Earl? Okay.
You got to.
Oh.
I'm gonna throw. I don't know if y'all are familiar with this cat named the Jacka. Y'all familiar with the Jacka?
I never heard the Jacka. What's his style like?
Oh, man, he's smooth with it. Kind of gives you bars like Kiss almost, like dope bars like that.
Okay.
But look up the Jacka. Rest in peace to him too. Yeah. And the third one. That's only one spot.
One more, top 3. Just 3 of them
of all time.
Yeah. The pressure is on.
I think I'm gonna put Mac Dre in there.
Mac Dre. The Bay Area love Mac Dre heavy.
Yeah. I'm gonna put Mac Dre in there just because he revolutionary, like kind of brought a whole style and movement, like the hyphy movement. Like he was really kind of the one that started it. And also he was a hustler though, too. The one thing I would say about all Bay Area artists, and I'm glad you asked me this question, is that they were all out of the trunk with it, right? You know what I'm saying? So like the point where E40, Too Short, they sold tapes out of their trunk. Master P came up from New Orleans, spent some time in Richmond and Oakland and all that stuff, learned the game, independent game as well. And so I think I took a lot of like the work that we do from a crossover standpoint of like, hey, we got to go independent with it, like kind of that out the trunk model, you know what I'm saying? Where you got to do for yourself.
Yeah, I already know, man. Listen, I'm a hustler. I used to sell lemonade in a lemonade stand. Then in high school, I sold Fruities. I used to use food stamps to bag. Come on, I used to get the food stamps. Used to buy the Fruities, big bags. I used to put different flavors,
little baggies,
20 a piece, spin it around, sell for $1, pay for my whole prom. Come on now, look. Then I have to level up. Fire sticks. What that mean? Making bread. I'm a hustler. Stop playing with me, man.
Sticks.
Out the trunk, boy.
Funny as fuck.
All right, let's move to the next one, though, man. So this is a hypothetical scenario. This is 3 married men. We were speaking as other men. We're not speaking as us. Hypothetical scenario. So play a little game. It's called I just made it up. One night, married or kicked to the curb. These 3 women: Megan Good, Rihanna or Regina Hall. One night,
Hall.
married or kicked to the curb. You got to throw them all in one spot. Megan Good, Rihanna, Regina Hall.
Okay. Ooh. I would say that I think I would marry Regina Hall.
Gotta marry.
Oh, Regina. Oh, that's what I'm saying.
You gotta marry Regina. You gotta marry her, man. She's solid as they come.
Yeah.
And she brown skinned too. You know what I mean? I would say, ooh, I'm kicking. You can't kick Riri to the curb. You can't kick Riri. You can't. Can't kick Riri.
So what you saying? So you saying one night Riri kick to the curb, Megan Good?
You know what? I would have to say one night. One night. Rihanna. She got the Savage Fenty. She got the
but Miss Good, if you nasty, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I would respectfully move her to the curb. I wouldn't kick her.
Respectfully. And you gotta look too. Like I feel like Rihanna has had more good days than Megan Good has had good days, if that makes sense. Like you didn't call Megan, hey, especially back in the day, man. A lot of those movies she did her thing, bro. But when you see Rihanna, it's like you see Rihanna. She's always on her shit. Like
I feel you.
Then like
I don't know.
Megan Good, it's a tough one though.
I've been wanting Megan Good since Friday. She had the hat to the side and the chips. Megan Good.
She's called a big perm.
You know what I mean? I'm talking about waist deep Rihanna. You know, Megan Good, waist deep Megan Good. But nah, we all can agree though. You got to marry Regina Hall, though. I find Regina Hall can.
Hands down.
You probably throw down in the kitchen, rub your feet when you need to, run your bath. Like I find Regina Hall do it all.
Yeah.
Everything. Balance. Throw a joke if you need to.
Blame a motherfucker.
Scary movie. That shit funny.
Right. I love it.
So, all right, here goes the next one. All right. So I've probably been to California probably twice in my life, but I've never been to the Bay Area. So I'm new. I'm a foreigner, right? So, all right. Fill in the blank. When you pull up to the Bay, you must eat at blank.
Ooh, man, there's so many good spots. But I would say if you are in the East Bay, you got to go to Everett and Jones. They got a spot in Berkeley and Oakland. It's like barbecue. It's fire.
Is it crazy?
Oh, it's fire. The brisket's crazy. Smoked chicken.
What you order? And tell me your exact order. What you getting from Everett?
So I'm getting probably the full pound. I was about to say half pound. I'm lying. I'm gonna get the whole pound of the brisket. I'm getting the brisket.
Ooh. Okay.
The mac and cheese is crazy. They got baked beans.
Cornbread.
Cornbread. Yeah,
Oh
cornbread and rolls too. But yeah, cornbread. Yeah. And the one in Berkeley is like the original one. It's not too far from the campus. And then the one in Oakland is in a cool area too. But yeah. No, I would say Everett and Jones. But yeah, there's some other good spots too.
Is the food coming out in that white cardboard little to-go container? Okay, all right. Oh yeah, it's flame. It's flame then.
Hey, it's legit. It's stamped on everything.
Heavy, kind of, real heavy. Come out the side a little bit.
It's coming out the side a little bit.
Lemonade, you know.
Put the little thank you bag around it and tie it real good with the. Hold it from the bottom. Whoa! Hold it from the bottom before it drop it.
Hold it from the bottom.
Oh man! All right, so we got last one here, man. It's another fill in the blank. Finish this statement. In 2022, Walt will blank.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. Think about it for a minute.
It can only be one thing?
Nah, hey, talk your stuff. This is all year with you, rest of the year.
Man, 2022. 2022, man, I'm gonna be, healthy and right. The fam's gonna be good.
Thanks.
And we gonna sell 2 shows this year.
Ooh, let them know.
Yeah, we're gonna sell 2 shows. We've been putting in the work. We've been refining the craft. We've been making the connections. We've been hustling the last few years, and so it's definitely time now for the world to fully see what God has put in us, man, and the content that we have, and D will tell you too, man. Like when we on set, it's special, man. it's a different feeling and vibe. It feel like family, you know what I'm saying? And I think it comes across in the content. It comes across with the talent that we work with and the athletes and entertainers. So I'm looking forward to being able for the world to kind of finally see everything.
I love it, man. And look, you already know what we say on the porch. Hey,
it's in the universe. It's out there.
It's in the universe. Yeah. You just put it out there, so it's only a matter of time before it happens. I love it, sir.
Yes, sir, man. Well, man, it's been an honor, a pleasure just hearing your story. I know the Porch fans gonna love it. You should feel inspired getting done listening to this episode. So we really appreciate you, man. Thank you. But before you go, let the people know where they can find you, where they can find CrossOVR. If somebody's looking for business, they want to work with y'all, man. This is your time to just kind of shout out everything you got going on.
Okay, no, I appreciate it. Yeah. So you can find me personally on IG. It's WJ Brock. So WJBROCK. Also on LinkedIn as well. Walter Brock, and then our CrossOVR as well. We have a CrossOVR page on LinkedIn, and then for IG, it's CrossOVR _collective, and so you can find us on IG, and then and then our website too is www.crossover.co. So that's where you can find us. And then pretty soon we're gonna create the YouTube pages where our content will live and all that stuff, and then we'll have some projects kind of dropping soon. So appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Now, Walt, I ain't trying to put no pressure on you, but we might have to shoot a in-person live the Porch episode produced by CrossOVR. I don't know. We're gonna have to talk offline. I don't want to put no pressure. You scared? You look scared right now.
Let's do it. I'm down.
You scared, Bolo? He's scared again.
I'm down. Let's do that.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, Bolo.
And Bolo, I'm looking forward to meeting you in person, man. We gotta make it happen, man.
Absolutely. We definitely got to make it happen, man. Definitely been a pleasure, man. Darnell speak very highly of you, and I've been watching the work. Continue to, feel inspired, especially after hearing your story, man. And, we'll definitely continue to, stay in contact, and, I'll definitely continue to support the brand and continue to tell people, obviously in the Midwest, about the brand and about, all the good stuff that you got going on. So much love. Definitely thank you for blessing the Porch, man. Thank you for blessing us with the game. Please follow us on everything, D Porch Podcast _. We are on Apple Music. We on YouTube. We doing it up, man. We got
Spotify.
We are on the thing.
OVR.
We going crazy.
Bay Area.
Understand this, all right? No matter what you want to do, just know it's a process. It's a grind to it, and the best you is the best.
Best you.
We out. Podcast, we out.
Started on the porch, that was where it all began. Had to put in work, every day we got it in. We chased all our dreams and now they can't believe it. We make it look easy, we achieving everything we need. Now we undefeated. If we link, no, it's only business. If we get to speak and leave them speechless. I did things for free, but now it costs to see me. When you see me, you ain't gotta greet me. Just don't plot to sneak me. I'ma see it, I'ma stop and watch you lose and get defeated.
Presented by Bet Online.